Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Veteran in the Park. And for today's podcast, I'm the host, Charles, a private service Marine Corps veterans. And it's an honor to have all of you here watching this channel. And it's also an honor to welcome our guest, Eric Arzaga, West Point graduate, Army veterans, and founder of Arzaga Media. And for this podcast, we want to share real stories that inspire a lot of veterans or service members that soon to transition out of the military to their civilian life. So we want to really get that piece of advice when it comes transitioning to be successful into their civilian life. And let's get started. Before we all start, first, Eric, very nice to have you here and with us. So I want to interview on we'll go over some questions together. Cool. So before everything started, what was your biggest drive and motive, you decided to join the Army or serving as Army officers?
It's funny you asked that question first because I didn't want to join the Army. My uncle, he was an Army grunt, right? And when he came home from Iraq or Afghanistan, I can't remember which tour he went to, and I was like 9 years old, something like that, 9, 10 years old. And he showed me his bullet wound. And I was like, I don't want that. Like, how did you even make it home? He was a Purple Heart, and he Purple Heart recipient. And I said, I didn't want to do that. And years later, I changed my mind. I was like, I actually want to do that because of the people that I looked up to outside of him, right? I did look up to him. I was like, oh, cool, you're a soldier, you're a warrior. All those things that are attached to being a leader, right? I wanted to do that. But I didn't want to do it in a way that I had to go get shot.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how that started. But to answer your question, how I wanted to join the military, I had a mentor, a coach in high school. He was my senior Army instructor. They call him JROTC, senior Army instructor. And he was a class of 72 West Point grad. And he saw potential in me that I never saw in myself. And he reminded me of it all the time. It's like, hey, you could do this. Hey, you could do that. Hey, let me give you this position so you could expand and develop your leadership skills. I was like, why? Why are you giving me these opportunities? And I also had awesome siblings that I look up to, my brother and my sister. I'm the youngest of 3. And I looked up to them, and they had leadership traits as well. And so they also encouraged me. So it was a bunch of things that encouraged me to join the military.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what was your job at the moment? What was your
my MOS?
Yeah.
So my military occupational, I guess, skill or whatever they call it. My MOS in the Army was MP, so I was a military police officer. So, we joke around like I was multi-purpose. So I was doing all kinds of things. So I did a little bit of correctional time. So I helped run a jail, a level 2 confinement jail facility in the Northwest called Fort Lewis, or JBLM. And then I also did combat support and law enforcement. So.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, that's cool. And so during those times, do you find, the Army, is that something that were you expected, or you find after you join, you're like, wow, this is something completely shocking to you?
Yeah, I guess in the beginning, I was like, what did I sign up for? What? Why did I do this? I mean, so going into West Point was my experience of the Army, and everything you learn at West Point is supposed to be the premier example of leadership. So yeah, looking at the Army, I was like, why did I do this? Because it was really tough, right? It was very, very challenging. They put you through a gauntlet all 47 months of being at West Point, so that you take away all the things that there's this thing called at West Point, we call it the definition of leather. So what you do is you extract all the iniquities, all the things that make it imperfect, and then you remold it. So that's what the Army does. It takes away, or even in the Marine Corps, right, or any of the military service branches, what they do is they remove all your individual self-identities, and they remold you into a soldier, a Marine, or a Coast Guardsman, or a sailor. And so I didn't know that at the time. I thought you were just going to go join and then do the hard things, but they take away all of that. Yeah. They take away your personal identity, and they give you a new one, which is I support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, and I, obey all the orders of the officers appointed to me, so help me God, all those things, right? So I was shocked. It was cool. It was great, and I found brotherhood, sisterhood, and it really taught me a lot about service and sacrifice and all the things that surrounds loyalty to an organization, a unit, a loyalty to a piece of paper, the Constitution.
Yeah.
So
Wow, no, for me too. I mean, definitely. I didn't even watch zero YouTube video or anything. I just go in and it was a fast track. Bust my hair. They did it all for you, and then they just next thing you're just a number.
yeah,
That's what-
shave your head,
Yeah,
dude.
take
Line up,
everything.
look at assembly line, dude.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Yeah. So yeah, and what do you think? So during your military service, right? And what do you think is the most valuable things that you learn from your in West Point or in the fleet? What do you think was the most valuable things you learned?
That's a big question. The most
Yeah.
valuable thing I learned. I would always tailor it back to the word transformational leadership, because as a young kid, I was a little punk kid, man. Like, I was very obnoxious, loud. Maybe I was also insubordinate. Like, I would not listen to people. I kind of just did my own thing. But what I learned in the military is that you can transform yourself. If you can transform yourself, you can definitely teach others to transform themselves, or you can teach your subordinates to transform themselves leadership-wise. Because it's not like you're born as a leader. You have to acquire it, and that's what I learned. It's a skill set. People say like, oh, you lack confidence. No, you talk about food because you love food. Now you have confidence. It's all about like, where do you insert yourself so that now you're performing at a caliber that other people are not usually performing at. So you give a guy who's never held a rifle, obviously he's not going to be able to shoot it if he's never shot it. But you give the rifle enough and he shoots it enough, dude, probably join a sniper team. Yeah. So what I learned from the military, to cut it short, because I could go off and off and off, but it's the transformational piece. Like, you can transform yourself. The military does that. It's really good at that. It's been good at that since 1776.
Yep.
And it will continue to do that. So if you, from the other side of the camera, if you think this is it for you, like, I grew up in a small town, in a 500 people small town, and this is it. No, that's a lie. They've been lying to you, man. You can leave. You can go do other things and transform your life, change the trajectory of your family's future. You can. I'm that guy. I'm that guy from the farmlands, man, of the Philippines. And I would have never thought I'd be here doing a podcast on a Friday, 11:34, and a green grass soil, American land. And it's amazing, guys.
Yeah, so
that's what I learned from the Army, from the military.
Yeah, it's definitely transformed, from who you are, not just, your outlook, also as a person, your characters, and you build those, leadership traits you get from the service, and you have mentor along the way, and you get to see the world. You kind of like explore all that, with the contract you decide to sign, was that, 4 a year or how many it is. But yeah, so no, those are definitely, I agree with the transformation is very important, and very a very valuable a resource, and you got the military. And so after all that, and when it was a time that you decide to, like, you got what you wanted in the service, you decide to leave the service, like, what made you like decide, like, it's time, this is time that I'm ready to get out of the Army?
It's time for me to hang it up. That's the biggest vulnerabilities that we all have as military service members, is that we don't think we're gonna leave. No, you are. You're gonna leave. You're gonna leave the military at some point, man. And for those that are still in, I mean, God bless their soul. Thank you for their service as well. They continue to do what they're doing. But if you don't accept the fact that you're gonna hang it up at some point, and you're just like, oh yeah, this is my identity for life. I'm a sergeant major, or I'm a full bird colonel, and that's just me, and I'm gonna keep living with that identity even when I get out, and I'm gonna expect everyone to salute me and call me sir, man, when I leave. You're you're living in a world of lies. Because I say that because the military is just the pivot, is just the chapter. We all know that. We all know that. I mean, you said in the beginning, like you signed up for 5 years, 6 years, whatever, right? Whether you're enlisted or you're an officer, it's a contract, and the contracts are meant to end, unless slavery and all that stuff. But I mean, I don't want to get into that tangent out there. But the military is a contract, and it's only. I mean, do we have? I ran basic training at Fort Leonard Wood. I was a PL, I was an XO, and then also a little bit of commander time. And I remember asking the trainees, like, why did you join the military? Mm-hmm. And they all had different answers. And for me, I was like, it's amazing that they all have different answers. I'm so glad that they all don't have the same answer, because they're all gonna leave at some point. Mm-hmm. Like me. Like, to answer your question, the reason why, the point where I knew where I was gonna leave was my skill set was now, or like my vision mm-hmm. and my excitement for life was now changing. Mm-hmm. Because when I first joined the military, it was about service. It was about loyalty. It was about transforming. It was very selfish. Mm-hmm. It was very selfish. And then during boot camp, basic training, then it was like, it's all about the team. It's all about the team. Mm-hmm. And then as I progressed through my military career, I was thinking, I was selfish again. You know what I mean? That's how it is in the military. You get selfish. I joined for my selfish reasons, and then you're in the team, you're in the unit. Now it's all about the team. You want to survive. You want to get everyone home, whatever. And then as you get more and more into your career, we're all selfish people, man. And so how I knew was when I discovered that I love serving people in a different way. And the uniform was holding me back in a way, because I mean, you're a soldier 24/7, or you're a Marine 24/7 while you're in uniform. So I couldn't really speak to people in a way that I could outside of the uniform. Because like for example, when I was at Fort Leonard Wood, I would go out and I'd be like, man, I'm a captain. Like, I don't know if I should talk to, like, what if that guy's a private, or what if that guy's a soldier in training? What if that's a trainee? Mm-hmm. And at the time, I'm like going to Walmart, right? You go to Walmart, and at Walmart, that's where everybody shops. You're running into everybody. And so I really wanted to just be free and speak freely and just meet people for who they are. And I feel like I couldn't do that with the uniform on. Mm-hmm. That's just like my own personal, I guess, insecurity. Maybe some people have a better time of being able to put it off and take off the uniform and still, be able to reach people.
You still have that restriction, like I think during the service we all have to fall under, obey order, obey these PAC Act or whatever, those rules that you had. And it really restricts something that you want to do, and not just...
I couldn't fully express myself in my own head, and I felt like I needed to get out.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely. I think we all have our, all the veterans, they all have their reasoning when they get out, and so maybe they got what they want in the service after they serve how many ever years it is, and they're like, oh, this is what I wanted from the military. And, like the part that we talk about why we're being selfish, and because at the end of the day, you're serving not just for the country, also for yourself, for that transformation, right? For that the goal or whatever people that you're looking up to, you want to become. Then you got what you wanted, you got what the experience, and it's time to for the next chapter, like you were mentioning about, this chapter. It doesn't matter what rank you got made to, but you have something else beyond the uniform that you're looking for, mm-hmm. then transitioning out. So was the transitioning process for you, was it like really hard, or some veterans, are struggling there, or they're afraid to get out of service because transitioning can be something that's very, hard for someone? How was that experience for you?
Well, as I was getting ready to transition out, people were saying it is hard. What it is, if you make it hard, if you choose to make it hard. It's not about lacking resources, it's about being resourceful, the resourcefulness of what is in front of you. And for me, I knew there was a network out there. I mean, I was like, I'm a West Point grad, I'll just go walk into any room, drop my resume, and they better hire me, 6-figure minimum. No, that's not the case. you need to go find, for me, what made it a little bit smoother for me to transition out was because I was actively seeking. You don't sit there and expect or people to just hire you because you're a military service member, or you commanded a company, or you've deployed multiple times or whatnot, or you're a combat vet. All those things, they're gonna sit on a piece of paper, but you need to go actively. That's the key word: actively seek out these opportunities. So, I mean, I was at Fort Leonard Wood. I was transitioning. Fort Leonard was in the middle of Missouri, near Springfield, Missouri, and the population was like, I don't know, 1,000, less than 1,000 people. Who's gonna hire you? What corporate? What tech company or what space company? They're not there. Recruiters will come in there to go hire so that they can then bring you out, and so there are only so many people flying out to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. And so what made my transition smoother, I should say, not necessarily easier, smoother, was that I flew back to where the big pond is. This you and I were talking about prior to this podcast is I flew out to Fort Lewis. It's a big military installation, and it's a metropolitan city. I mean, Tacoma, Seattle, and there's Microsoft, there's Boeing, there's all these big companies there that are hiring. And so I landed my job there. So I flew out there during a break, and I went to a job fair, and gosh, dude, the room, it was a massive room, man. And there was more recruiters than applicants. And so I'm just like, who do I talk to? I'm just walking around, there's like drinks everywhere, you're just kind of like, you're the buyer. And I love that. I love that. I love that. And I just took my time and just kind of like see where it was warm, like having the conversation, and then we talked about the opportunity. It was a room where I could just be myself, and not feel like I was getting sold. You know what I mean? Like people are just selling their company. I was actually buying, because if you were in a place like Fort Leonard Wood, or where there's not enough opportunities, now you're like desperate. That's the part where veterans get. They're like, oh, it's hard. Well, yeah, it's hard if you don't have many opportunities. But if there's a lot, dude, it's easy. It's not easy. It's a lot more manageable.
Yeah, I think that's something can definitely relate to every veteran that, getting into a new hemisphere, that we're used to that, to get, adapt to a new environment. So some of these opportunity and resource that, might not be always around in your current comfort zone, then you might have to, like you mentioned, you flew out there for that job fair, you flew out there for these, big corporate or opportunity where, you have to go reach out and grab these opportunity, right? They don't just, doesn't matter who you are, you're not recognized because you're ranked, you're not recognized because you did some
cool shit,
cool stuff in the service, and people appreciate your service, but at the same time, you have to present yourself out there to reach out to grab this opportunity, right? So I think those are, definitely transitioning. That's very important when it comes to, how to utilize your resources and utilize your connections. And it doesn't matter you build in the company or it was the military or anywhere. So, yeah, definitely. So, I was mentioning about transitioning, out of the service. So after you're transitioning, then if you have some advice for the younger version of you, like the past you, what are some advice you will give it to you at the moment when you're separating from now?
I would just say continue to insert myself into uncomfortable environments, meaning places that I know will grow myself, and places that I know that has opportunities. So that's two parts, right? To grow myself, I don't know if that's gonna fly. Oop. I don't want this to fly. Go in the ocean.
Thank you. Yeah.
There we go.
All right.
I say to grow myself and places that are uncomfortable, because the part that, going into West Point, I was growing. In the military, you're growing. You're into a new unit, you're growing. Every time you move to a new unit, you're growing. You're PCSing, you're growing. Those are all phases of the military career, which is awesome, that we took for granted. You're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be hard, but dude, you're growing. We're meant to grow as people. And that's what I love about being an entrepreneur is I'm always growing. I have to grow. Otherwise, how am I gonna adapt with my environment and my competitors? How am I gonna win? You gotta grow. And then the uncomfortable. There's that saying, you know, how do you, was it an alligator or a crocodile? How do you attack the guy? When it's fed, when it's full, because now it's comfortable. So you have to stay uncomfortable. And so those are the two things that I would say to myself is, am I growing right now? If not, then I gotta go find something that's uncomfortable, because then now I'm growing. So they work kind of hand in hand. So that's what I would say to myself, going back to where I was transitioning again, because I did get comfortable. And I was like, man, I'm getting out. I no longer have to form in line every morning, do report, you know, do PT, all those things. Because we think transitioning is just finding a job. Transitioning, dude, you gotta come up with your own PT now, your own routines. It's all in here now. You're not working with you're not doing workouts with your unit. You're now eating whenever you want to eat, right? You're taking vacations. There's no DA-31. Oh, Commander, can I go to Hawaii? You know? You're not getting recalls on a 4-day weekend. Like, all those things are part of transitioning out of the military that we're like, oh, wow, I gotta figure out how to do that now. Who's my emergency contact? You know, like those things, man. So I would say to myself, continue to grow and find yourself in uncomfortable environments.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I mean, for a lot of us, I think we, you know, definitely the comfort zone is there. You know, I think on the internet they were saying that, you know, like hard time create strong men. So those hard times for you to accept the reality of you going out there to, you know, out of your comfort zone. You know, continue to insert yourself to a new environment, new places, or just try new things, honestly. Like, if you're not good at something, you know, try it. And maybe something you turn out to be, you know, that reputation, eventually get good at it. So I think, yeah, definitely. So, yeah, so after you're transitioning out of the military, how do you refine your purpose afterward, like, after uniform? Like, how do you get into Arzaga Media? Like, you know, what do you, that was
you
that
said, how did I find it?
Yeah, how you define your purpose? Like, was it right after your service you started it, or like you did something else before that and you find your way to what you really want to do?
You asked a really good question, Charles. You really did.
Yeah.
That, because I recorded a short clip of me talking about this, answering this question right now. I think 2 years ago.
Right.
2 years ago when I ran a half marathon. I was getting ready. Not ran, but you know, I'm not fast. You know, I'm getting older. You know, but how did I define it? Well, this is what I'll say. Your purpose is discovered and redefined. You discover it, but it's also refined. I say that because when I first joined the military, I was like, my purpose is to serve people. Okay, I discovered that. And it continued to get refined. How do I serve people? There's so many ways to serve people, not just in the military. You could serve in your local church. You could serve at a local boutique. Like, you could serve on a like a little pantry. You know, those little areas that you could serve, and that's the refinement process. So you discover how you serve and then refine how you serve. And for me, finding Arzaga Media first started with my assignment at Fort Leonard Wood, where I was running the boot camp, and it was during COVID, and parents could not see their kids or their children training at boot camp. I wanted to serve the parents, because I mean, when I had boot camp, when I was going through boot camp at West Point, my family was in Hawaii.
Yeah.
You know how long it took for me? I was the last person to get my letter back.
Wow.
I got my letter in the latter half of boot camp, and my friends already got their letter. My battle buddies got their letter. They were reading their letters, and I was sad. I was like, they didn't write me. No, they did. My parents wrote me, but it took them a long time for the mail to get from Hawaii to New York.
Right.
So I remember that feeling. So while I was running basic training, I wanted to connect the parents to the trainees, because I felt that. I was like, nah, dude, I'm gonna make videos so that they're always in tune with what they're training at basic training. So I made videos. I taught myself. And from there, I just got better at it. I just got better. I got better. I started interviewing. I also helped like make recruitment videos for the schoolhouse, for the chemical schoolhouse, and then such that the commandant of the chemical schoolhouse was like, "I'm gonna pull you out of there. You're no longer teaching basic training. You're just gonna go make videos. You're gonna make videos for me. We're gonna help recruit officers for the chemical schoolhouse." And so that's what I did. I got attached to the operational side for the schoolhouse, and we're making videos. I was interviewing people, and I had access to the base, and we would be showing all the cool stuff that the school is doing. And all I wanted to do was serve. All I wanted to do was connect the activities to the people. And that's how I found my purpose.
Wow, no, that's some amazing, answer. It was, I think it's also like to me, it sounds like a core value when it comes to Arzaga Media as well. It's like, that define, discover and define, so you're constantly getting into a new environment, you discover new things, right? And you're like, I have a new purpose now, like you define something more meaningful, important for you or, your loved ones and, or your career goal, then you continue to do it on that. And I think a lot of it in the military, they does that too, take a step and see, like something like similar to it. And in a small level, in a shorter version. But yeah, I think constantly, that's definitely something, a lot of veterans can utilize and, just keep discovering new things, new tricks. Maybe this is something that this is your purpose. You find the calling in you, just like when you decide to serve. Doesn't matter, what were you looking for? You find that calling to sign that contract. So, no, I think those are, for veterans that are listening to this podcast, they have problem, they have question about like, how will they transitioning their military skill into the civilian workforce, and how did you able to do that? Like, was your personal experience and things you learned from the military transition to, Arzaga Media or other jobs? How do you do that translation? Yeah.
I think it's a portfolio of things. The military is a great foundation to then start exploring things that is included in your arsenal, like set of skills, right? So while I was great at leading people, okay, now what? It's a soft skill, right? It's both soft, hard. Because you got to break down what is leadership, right? Because then you can teach yourself and refine it. A lot of it was from the military because I didn't like just sitting on my rear. I didn't just like sitting on my ass, not doing anything. I wasn't the LT sitting in the office while my sergeants are doing all the training and doing all the grunt work. No, I was in there with them. And so translating that into the civilian world, absolutely. Because now when you're getting out of the military, you're not going to be sitting on your butt as well. You're going to be doing things, man. You're going to go use what you learn about not just sitting in the back as an NCO or a senior leader and just sit in the back. You're going to go find it. Until you find it, you're not going to stop. It's like land navigation. We all learn how to do land nav. If you know land nav, you're not just going to sit there. You're going to try to figure out how to get home, how to get to your next destination. It's that philosophy, it's that mentality. So if you're transitioning out of military and you clearly know what you want, well, just don't stop. We don't stop. Service members, we don't stop. But there's things that limit us though in stopping, because now you lack motivation. Well, where does that come from? It's from fitness. You stop working out. So if you're transitioning out and you stop working out, that's probably one of the things that correlate to why you're not motivated to going out. So go back to working out. That's like one of the things. And then second thing is finding your, this is very cliche, finding your passion, finding your passion. Like, I enjoy, like, my passion, sure, videography, it is my passion, but my ultimate passion is being here right now and talking to Charles. That's my passion, man. Like the all camera stuff and learning all the technical skills about, the ISO, the white balance, the filters, the little frame rates, all these things about running a camera. Those are all like technical stuff that's like, sure, I need to learn that. But once I learn it, it's in here. I don't need to go learn it again. what I love is being here because that's just an asset to
Yeah.
then support what we're trying to do, which is talk to y'all, talk to you, talk to service members. That's what I love because I was once where you are at. I was once where there was a lot of uncertainty, but knowing where I am at now, you can do it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think it's they're veterans or service members, soon to be veteran. Before they get out, they really have to. We all have plans. So the plan A, B, C, D. But when you find your passion, when you find like you're mentioning about like finding the purpose on what they want to do, sometimes it does take some time for them to discover and then define or to see what's coming in next, and they want. So I think there's more than just the answer in the box. There's also A, B, C, D, E, F,
It's not
G.
black and white, dude.
Yeah, so I think it's up you to keep that motivation, keep like it doesn't matter if it's physical fitness or
Yeah.
mental or mentality wise, and to keep pushing forward
yes.
and then show up. That's something where the service member is good at. Show up at the right place at the right time and the right people, and you have a way better opportunity to find something that you're passionate about, something that you want to do, and or get connection for whatever future career you're looking for. But yeah, I think that's definitely very important. I think those skills that they had, it can be transformed, but they didn't know sometimes. They didn't know what they have. Maybe you're like a mechanic, diesel mechanic, but that's not something you want to sign up for, wanted to do afterwards.
When you get out.
Yeah, when you get
Maybe
out.
you're just really good, like mechanically inclined, but maybe that's not what you're trying. Maybe you're meant to go build the next product for tech.
Yeah.
Not necessarily fixing things, but you're meant to go create something new.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so there's
You're
all
like, oh my God,
opportunities.
I was part of like a startup, and you're like, oh no, dude, you're like the chief engineer now for this like huge company.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I thought, but I was just a diesel mechanic. Nah, bro, that was just a starting point. This is like what is it, imposter syndrome? That is so real. I had it too, and if you have it, that's okay, but don't stay there, don't dwell there. But that's okay. You can develop into something greater, and that's what we're talking about here.
Yep.
Like you could be a founder of a startup company designing the next thing that solves, I don't know, cancer or something, right?
Yeah.
You were a diesel mechanic, and now you're like, dude, that's crazy.
I know, it's pretty. Yeah, so definitely, like how crazy AI is now. That you
Hell
can
with
use
AI,
all that
dude.
resources for you,
Yeah.
and then you don't even have to, know how to do things. You just ask for it, and I think
Exactly.
that's part of it. Like, AI can tell you all the answer. It's the part that is hard for people to accomplish is to do it. To go use that resource and go do it. So that's the part is hard. And yeah, so if you have, so my next question, a lot of veterans are desperate and wanted to know is that if you have your best advice for someone that's getting out, then what's your best advice for these future veterans or veterans that already been separated out of the service? What's your best advice for them?
I would say keep asking questions, because once you stop asking questions, that's how you know you figured it all out. Well, if you're trying to achieve a particular, if you're trying to get somewhere or trying to achieve a certain job or get hired, and you stop asking questions, then you probably got the job already. But then even then, it's like, go find it. Man, just go find it. That would be my best advice, man. Go find it. And it starts with just reaching out. Here's my, like, if there's something tangible or something like a checklist that you could do right now, that's what I would do. Get on LinkedIn. I've said this on my TikTok channel. Get on LinkedIn. Don't start when you're transitioning. Start when you join the military. Create a LinkedIn and put your title, leader at U.S. Army. You're a leader. You signed up. You volunteered. Leaders are volunteers. They do hard things. So go create that LinkedIn account. Post. This is like if you just started, and then just accumulate that your I Love Me book, right? Start doing that. If you don't, and then as you're transitioning out, now you have a set of things, a set of your resume is now able to speak for you on LinkedIn, on social media, in the online world, and then you can use that to go DM. I would DM, dude. Go DM all the project managers, all the recruiters. Dude, it's so easy on LinkedIn. Literally put their title, senior recruiter at blah, 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 or talent manager, talent acquisition manager, or put, if you're looking for a project manager position, type in regional manager, director, operational manager, whoever their boss is, just DM them. I believe, I think it's still there, veterans, as you're transitioning out, you get, I think, free 1 year LinkedIn premium.
Think so.
So
Something like that, yeah.
hop on that. That would be my best advice. And start using the connect in email and start DMing them directly. Hey, this is my, because you can only put like so many characters or so many words.
Yeah.
So use chat to like kind of refine that and DM these guys, these hiring managers. I would skip the recruiters too. Just
Yeah.
go straight to the person. If you find out like who's the guy that's gonna make the decision, just DM them. Hey, this is what I do. This is my background, whatever. Even better if you can name drop. Oh, I saw that you were, because on LinkedIn it says you're mutual friends with,
Yeah.
or mutual connection. Oh, I know so-and-so, because they won't know that. So put that on the connect.
Yeah, so
Dude,
that's how we find you. So connect.
Dude.
Yeah, for sure.
that's it. That's how you land your next job. If you want a job, if you're looking to start your own business, then just go into the industry, whatever it is, and DM people there.
Yeah, then for sure. Yeah, and then I think
I hope that was helpful.
yeah, it's really helpful. And
Yeah.
we also there's some I believe there's a lot of veteran that's out of the service, maybe for 1 or 2 years. They're they're thinking about, was that the right decision? Was like out of the service and
Right decision to get out?
yeah, to get out.
I like
Yeah,
this question.
I know. You never know, but I want to
funny.
connect that to with your scenario. How do you how do you decide when it comes to entrepreneurship, when you start Arzaga Media, right? Like what Arzaga Media is like we did some research. It's like a media company that dedicated to connect people, share real story. How do you come up with that with that company, and why do you want to get into start your media team, and where these steps ain't easy for someone just do it, so how would you use your military skill and your personal skill and to connect and start out the whole company? Yeah.
Well, I started Arzaga Media to solve a problem. I didn't start it because I wanted to make more money. I didn't start it because I wanted to make a name for myself. I started the company because I consistently saw a problem in the industry I was working in. And I was working for a rental company for 3 years, several years. It was my first job, first job out of the military. And in my time there, I consistently found that companies, business owners, were doing so good at their job that they forgot to showcase their job. Like literally right now, I'm helping a company that has 30 years of industry experience, but little to no, zero, nada. You go on their website, bro, there's nothing.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, how are you finding your jobs? Like, oh, just word of mouth. Sir, that was in the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, the 50s. You say that today, they look you up, I believe you. I believe you. But the younger generation, you look at it now, 5, 10 years, when they apply for a job, they're not just gonna go, hey boss, how are we finding our next job? Don't worry, imagine this, your boss says, don't worry, man, I got you. I'm 75 years old,
Yep.
but I got the referrals. He's 75, but he got the referrals. But sir, how are we gonna, what about when you're gone? How am I gonna get the referrals? The way you collect that is you tell your story starting now. And it's the same thing for veterans, soldiers, military service members that are in. You create your footprint now on LinkedIn. You don't create a LinkedIn profile and your I Love Me book 180 days out before you get out of the military. That's too late. It's the same thing for business owners.
Yeah.
This is the same philosophy in anything that you do to land your next opportunity, to land your next potential client, to hire your next CEO. How is your CEO going to look you up? Unless someone in the company is already vouching for you or vouching for the whole vision of the company, that's a different scope. But say you had all of this already and you have the digital footprint to show it. So I was like, I want to help these guys who don't know where to start to market their companies before they even know they needed it.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I think veterans, was what you do, what your passion was, share the real story. It's problem solving at the same time.
It is problem solving. I found a problem and wanted to solve it.
Yeah, that's part of it. Share the story. I think a lot of veterans, they all have them, want to start something. Want to start a company, start building a business. As you already form Arzaga Medias, and what are some of the advice if they want to start something on their own, like as a veteran, or doesn't matter as a veteran owned, you've seen those video where a company that veteran owned businesses.
Okay.
And what are some of the advice you will give them that they trying to start something, maybe they've been out for a couple of years already, or 10 years, that they already went through all the discover and the find, and they find they're not settled with the current position they have right now. They want to start a company, they want to start something that solve people's problem.
Yeah.
What are some advice as entrepreneurs or business owner, and for someone to want to start something greater?
Yeah, so let's assume that they've already figured out what the problem is they're trying to solve. They know that they can solve it because they have an industry experience. But if you don't have the industry experience to solve the problem, then go try it out first. Go experiment it. Go experiment it. I remember trying out experiments all the time at the motor pool. You're like, what's wrong with this truck this time? We fixed it last week. We're back in the motor pool. It's broke. It's down again. You're like, but let's try to figure out another way. So that's kind of like how you start a business, is try different ways until you figure out something that's consistent, and then legitimize it. Like, there's people who get so excited about starting a business. Like, I was that guy too. I was like, okay, let me go create an LLC. Dude, this was like 3 years ago when I just gotten out of the military. I was like, I want to do this. And I created an LLC right away because I thought that was hype. Okay, it's great you create an LLC, but do you know that it works? Like, are you actually solving a problem? And do you know the process to it? And the difference between now versus then is like I've actually done it multiple times. So then I just had to formalize it. So that's when I was like, okay, now we actually have something. Like, I could see the whole process come through. So then I said, all right, I actually have to start this media company now. Because someone really wanted to pay me. I was like, oh, okay, I can actually get paid doing this. And I've heard, and I don't know if you guys follow the School of Hard Knocks.
Oh yeah.
And they're always talking about business owners that are like starting from nothing, and they didn't realize they were building a company. They were just trying to solve a problem. That's the guy who created the Theragun, the massager thing.
Yeah,
and he was just trying to solve a problem because he got hurt. and then literally one of his patients like, hey, you should really make this into a thing and help people. And I was like, in my own head, I also had similar conversations. If I could actually do this for somebody for free and they appreciated it and they're willing to pay me, why wouldn't I formalize it at this point? So for someone that is looking to start a company or go full time, stay in your job for now, and from your 5 to 9, go do it.
Right.
Go hang up, if you're still in the military, go hang up, take off your uniform or transition out or whatever, and go start doing that. And then once you start to see consistency and the process to it to get to that end goal, then yeah, you got something. Formalize it.
Yeah.
Don't hold back. Burn the boat.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway,
I hope that was helpful, because that's where I was.
Yeah, Eric, you got some amazing advice. Like, those are definitely important. Continue to try new things, experiment it. I know, finding that problem, you solve people's problem. Sometimes money it's like a number. It's a way the society, like, convert your effort and your value to number, to money, to back to you. Because you created that value, that that need in the society, so they change that, like money, then come to you. So I think it's definitely something that you have to keep discover and keep seeing, then find these situation that like you're in a situation that really helps somebody, and you create something helpful, and or some type of product, and like we were mentioning earlier, then you eventually you will find that for yourself. And but yeah, and that should be it. That should be all my question. And thank you so much, Eric, and for joining us today. And for all our people listening to this podcast, thank you for listening to our episode. And stay tuned for our next episode. And appreciate your very appreciate your your time with us. And that should be it.